Well, good morning, and thank you all for being here. My name is Alejandro Covalin. I'm the CTO and one of the co-founders of Spark Biomedical. We're a company producing wearable neuromodulation for several conditions, and today I'll talk about our initiative for women's health. Very briefly, we'll go background wearable approach, why printed electronics 3D manufacturing is probably the best way to approach this problem, talk about the market, what we're doing, and then finalize showing you actual data from clinical trials. First, if you think the only gap or gender gap that there is the salary one, well, you're very likely a male. Look, there's so many gaps there. Truth is that our society, male-dominated society, has created this huge healthcare gap between genders. And women have not been participating historically in clinical trials. That has led to many problems. I mean, think about it. The first women physician was in the mid-1850s, mid-1800s. And that led to women not participating, women not being heard in the medical field. Jumping to the 60s, you have this tragedy of a particular drug causing about 10,000 birth defects because it was never tested in women. That's kind of ridiculous if you think about it. And if you want to get more ridiculous, in 1977, the FDA actually banned participation of women on first phase 1 and phase 2 trials to protect women and the unborn child. That was the idea. But that led to a further gap. It was not until 1993 that the FDA, not the FDA, the NIH mandated that women had to be included in clinical trials, and they only mandated that where they had power, which was for the trials they were paying for. It was not until 2013 that the FDA recommended or required different dosing for women for specific drugs. And there are many problems with dosing, and sufficient to say that women suffer twice as much adverse reactions from drug than men. And it's simply because the physiology is different. The interesting part of it is that they were banned from participating in the trials of people. The researchers don't want to have them in the trials, specifically for their main reason that I think they should be, because their physiology is different. They have a hormonal cycle that is different than the men, it's much more pronounced, and that threw off the results. Well, you want to fake results, you can fake results all day long, but you have to test in women if you're going to use the drug in women. Now, I would argue that wearables is the low-hanging fruit, is the way to bridge the gap, or one way that might be the most efficient and effective to bridge that gap. Why? Because devices are being worn 24/7. They're the ones that are designed for women are specifically designed for women. They are very accurate. They're getting very accurate. There is no regional issue. I mean, you have access to it. And very interestingly, in traditional healthcare, women are misdiagnosed much more often than men. In fact, it takes an average up to 130 days to get the proper diagnosis. Where if you were to have a wearable, you'll be collecting data every single day, every single hour. That will help you gather data. The data will be available for doctors, etc. Now, I don't have to tell this audience what is the best way to produce wearables. 3D printed, printed electronics and 3D manufacturing definitely have an edge in producing wearables for many reasons. They're inexpensive, they're ultra thin, flexible. They can contour with the body very easily. So I will argue that